Welcome back into Live in the Bay. We do have a very special Bay Area nonprofit on the show today. The Bay Area Young Survivors are a group for young people who have breast cancer in the Bay Area. Here with the group today is Meaghan Calcari Campbell. Meaghan, thank you so much for being here with us today.
Thank you for having us.
Of course. You know, the organization has some announcements and we definitely want to get to those. Cancer is something that so many people have experienced, have had a relative or a friend experience. It seems like everyone knows someone who's gone through this. So the organization seems like a very important one to have for support. Tell us all about the organization.
Thank you. The Bay Area Young Survivors, or BAYS as we refer to it, was founded 20 years ago. We are a support and action group for young people living throughout the Bay Area with breast cancer. Young people have unique and often unaddressed needs. For example, when I go on a Bumble date, I'm married, but when I would have gone on a Bumble date, how soon do I disclose to my date that I have cancer or that my cancer treatments left me infertile? When I go into chemically induced menopause in my 20s, how can I find camaraderie among that? When I've had surgery, how do I explain that to my toddler that I can't pick them up? We are an all-volunteer organization, a nonprofit, and we provide direct support to all of our members through peer support. That includes support groups, financial assistance, community building events, and really an online information sharing platform so that no one has to go through this alone. We have members at all stages, those who are newly diagnosed to those who are metastatic and navigating their end-of-life care choices. And we have people who are 20-year survivors.
I wanted to ask you, this is such a personal organization to get involved in. It's so specific. Why are you personally involved?
Well, I was 32 and I was diagnosed with breast cancer out of the blue. And I'm here, I'm 44 now. And so I was very grateful to find BAYS just a few weeks into my diagnosis and welcomed into this community like a hug. There is no question, too big or small, that I've asked, that anybody can ask, that somebody doesn't have experience and insight and wisdom, or just really a listening ear. And so I've been involved with the organization since 2012.
So you're a testament to how much it can help, really. Tell us how you've seen it impact other people. You know, you get a diagnosis, maybe you feel really alone, naturally scared. How have you seen people's maybe attitudes change once they have the support?
Oh, for sure. We have average of 15 new members a month, and it's one of those things where we don't want new members. We don't want people to be diagnosed and find us, but we're glad when they do. I think we see people come together who show up at their first support group and maybe don't say anything, come to their second support group, or come to the holiday party, come to gardening events, and start to realize that they're not alone and open up, and then they take leadership roles and they're facilitating support groups. And I think that transformation is really, it's remarkable, and we're so happy to have a safe place for people.
Wonderful. So such a good effort that you guys are doing. I do want to talk about those announcements now. So we have a memorial garden being created right now. Tell us a little bit about it.
Over 40,000 people in the United States alone die each year of metastatic breast cancer. We were shocked to learn that there is no public memorial dedicated to all those people who have died and that shines a spotlight on the breast cancer epidemic. Over the last 15 years of our organization, we've wanted to find ways to shine that spotlight, to draw attention to metastatic breast cancer, and also to find ways to memorialize our members who have died, our friends, now over 100 people. In all of our treatments, so many of us find solace in whether that's gardening, being outside, getting our hands dirty in the dirt, just having sunshine on our face. And it was through those conversations with members who've since died that we realized we wanted to build something to shine this spotlight, to memorialize our friends, something that would be permanent, something that would grow and flourish. 10 years ago, we started a conversation with San Francisco Rec and Parks, and since then have been forging and making progress towards what will be the Bay Area Young Survivors Breast Cancer Memorial Garden in Golden Gate Park. It will be the country's first public memorial dedicated to all of those who've died of breast cancer, and it will have the names of BAYS members who've died.
Wow, and it looks like it's going to be so beautiful. We're looking at renderings right now of what that memorial is going to be like. Do you have any information about like what the inspiration here was?
Yes.
Okay.
as in the last 10 years specifically, we've been working with this amazing team of landscape architects at Inside Out Design and now our construction partners, Treaty Construction, to make sure that this space is accessible, it's inclusive, it's contemplative, everybody can find solace there. The space will get completely new pavers and new seating. All the native plantings will be in line with the native oak woodlands ecosystem around it. When you walk into the space, it will have a labyrinth-like feel that has words, really poetry, that are written by and published by Bay's members. And the largest part of it will be a memorial structure that surrounds the whole space in what feels like an embrace. And that will have the names of all the Bay Area young survivors who've died. It will also be names, words that are inclusive around cherished, beloved, treasured, child, sibling, so that we really want anybody who comes to this space. There's so many people who've had cancer, have lost somebody to cancer, been impacted by cancer, that we want everyone to feel like this space is for them.
So many people who can relate, Meaghan. Thank you so much for being here and telling us your story today. And of course, we'll put more information on our website so that people can reach out and help and also get some help if they need it.
Yeah.
All right, thank you so much.